Hi everybody, this is Ellen. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make these. They're little hot air balloons. They're made entirely on the hook, so be prepared for that. It's kind of a spin-off of using my using what I did for the rainbow. It's not too hard once you get the pattern down and just used to holding the bands and moving them around. You can kind of see the size of them. These are my baby turtles that are sitting so nicely in the bottom. It's not too bad. I made a few improvements from this basket to this one, so we'll do those. This does use a fair amount of bands because it is almost entirely double banded. Like the top right here would be 36 bands, and then this next row is double that, and then the two bottom rows are the 36 bands again. So it does take quite a few. Of the bottom it's not quite as many. It's probably 36 as well. So it does take a few, but it's cute. It is, because it's double banded, this is actually hollow inside. It keeps the shape from that. I don't know what it would be single banded. I think that it would collapse on itself and wouldn't stay puffy like the balloon should. But I think, I don't know, I decided to share it. I was just trying different things and I thought it was adorable, so I wanted to show how to make it. Of course, if you want to make the little baby turtle guy that's in there, that you'll have to check out my tutorial for him. And they're a little adorable. So we'll get started here, and I think that was all I needed to say, hopefully. I'll remember it later as we go along, I'm sure. Like I said, just on the hook. So the first band, it's two bands. We're going to start with the balloon first and work our way down to the basket. So we're starting at the top here, and we are actually going to do the 4 rows on this one. This one's a little different, but I didn't quite like how the bands went together on that one. But this is for the middle ring up here, and we're going to take this and 2 bands, wrap it around our hook 3 times, like so. I'll come in a little bit, but I can't come in super close because I don't want, my camera likes to focus itself over and over again then. So you'll take 2 more bands, and this is where we're actually starting the bands up. So I'm going to kind of make this some crazy colors so you can see where I'm going in. But then you're just going to pull 2 bands through that end cap. And I guess I'm going to say everything is double banded, so I'll probably just say band, but I mean 2. Now take more bands and just pull them through. It's like we're making a double singled chain. And then take 2 more and pull them up through again. So now you have an end cap or cap band, depending on who's telling me, and then 3 bands coming up. So now you go back in through the end cap and take 2 bands, pull them up, 2 more bands, and pull them up just through, in my case, the orange, and then put that back on your hook, like so. And then 2 more bands, and pull it through everything on your hook, like that. We'll go back in through the center again. Pull up 2 bands, 2 more bands through what we just pulled up, and then 2 more through everything on your hook, like that. And we can need to keep doing that until we have 12 of these all the way around. I'm going to do rainbow around, so I'll know that when I get, I guess, 2 purple, which will be over here in the end, then I'll know that I'll have 12. So back through the center, pull up 2 bands, two more bands, and a third through everything. And blue. Then 2 bands. Pull up 2 more. And 2 more through everything. I'll probably do a lot of talking in the beginning, and then as we get further along, once you're familiar with this stitch, then you probably won't need as much talking from me. Back through. Pull up 2 bands. And 2 bands through everything. So there's 6, so I need 6 more. And then through everything. Back through the center. Pull up 2 bands, and through everything. So if you're watching this and you're kind of getting a little lost or behind, it's the same stitch pattern. So once you get that done, you'll be fine. It's just a matter of then once you have that, knowing how many stitches to put in each. This is called a round. Just trying to move that red band out of the way. So I'm going to twist it together. And I need 1 more. Alright, so now I have 12 stitches. You can see I have, well, the rainbow here, so here's 6, and then here's another 6. So that's 12. Now, you take your hook, and you're going to put it through the top of your first stitch, through both loops, and then you're going to take another band. You either have the option to, you can tie this off completely, Just pick a color, either the red or the purple, so it's close, so you can hide it in, like in my case red or purple, in your case whatever color you used. But you can just take a band, pull it through both of these, and then do a slip knot. You can chain up to the next row if you know your colors. It really, this part doesn't necessarily matter a whole lot, but just we need to move up to the next row, I guess. So what I'm going to do is, for right now, I think I'm just going to slip knot it and tie it off. Like that. And then I can hide this later. Either it'll be on the inside of the balloon so it won't matter, or I can tie it off. But now what you want to do is that sometimes when you pull the bands through, you kind of pull tighter than you would otherwise. So just go in here into each little stitch and kind of pull them up. Be careful, you don't want your bands to break now. But you're just kind of loosening them up. Because I know sometimes I crochet a little tighter in spots than in others. And it doesn't usually appear too much in this first one, but as I go along I notice it more. Like if you made this and you notice that kind of like all your stitches are on one side, that's probably because you crocheted a little, or crocheted with your bands a little too tight. So that's what going in and pulling these out a little bit will help with. Alright, so like that. And that's the top part of our balloon. So we'll go and we'll start the next row, and I'm just going to leave this on the inside. And now for this row we're going to increase all the way around. So in each one of these, which I'll call the stitch, each one of these we're going to bring up 2 of like one of these. So like this orange one is the stitch. Now we're going to bring up 2 into each one of these around to kind of increase it so it has more of a puffy balloon shape. So first you're going to pull up 3 bands underneath your first stitch, and you really can start anywhere you want, but I'm just going to start next to where I did before. I'll pull up 3 bands like that. Then go back in that same spot, pull up 2 bands together. So this next one's just going to go through that first set. So now I have that on my hook. Now take 2 more bands and pull it through everything on your hook. So that made 2 stitches in that one spot. So we'll go in through the next one under both loops. We're going to bring up 2 more stitches. So pull up 2 bands and take a band through everything. And go back in that same spot. Pull up 2 bands. And then take 2 bands through everything. And if you'll notice, this is where I start getting a little tighter on how I do it. Not intentionally, I just do. So now we have 2 up through this next one. So we're going to continue that all the way around the circle. So I'll probably do half of this kind of at the speed I'm going now, which I apologize if it's too fast for anybody. You always have the option to pause the video to catch up. And then I'll kind of go a little faster through this last part here. So we can get closer to the end. So again, into the next stitch, pull up 2 bands, then 2 bands through everything, or a band, and back in the same spot. I'm hoping that by color coordinating this a little bit you can see what I mean by kind of doubling in the same stitch. My yellow is all, there's a single here, now we're coming double out of this here. So you can see how we're doubling this along. And band through everything. Next one. Through everything. Same stitch. Through everything. And then we go to the next stitch over, do 2 up through there, 2 stitches up through, then 2 bands through everything. And the next one. Same stitch. And through everything. Then we'll just do the same thing all the way around. 2 stitches in each stitch until the end, and then when you're done you should end up with 24 stitches. So like I said, I'll just go through this kind of second half a little bit faster, won't talk as much, but I won't speed up in video editing, so you can still see it. And then of course if you've got it down and you can finish to the end, you can always just pause or fast forward to get there. So if you're looking at the time, you're going to realize that this is going to be a long video, and I apologize for that, but sometimes the coolest things take a little bit more work to do them. I already figure, I don't know if I said it already, but I won't get a whole lot of people that will probably make this, but I just wanted to share it because I thought it was pretty neat and I figured out how to do it, so I am looking forward to seeing any pictures from those that are willing to try. I apologize if you can hear all the noise going on upstairs. I'm not sure what they're doing up there, but my husband is supervising them doing something. And last one here. My slip knot's getting in the way. I need to tuck that in. Like so. And the same thing to close this end. You're going through the top of the stitch on the next one. And if you're looking at the side here, there's a stitch right here, and there's kind of a stitch right here. It's the one that's on the top that you want to connect to. And again, I'm just going to pull a single band through and do a slip knot. Now I will point out that there's kind of two sides to the stitches. It's not really, I don't think there's much of a difference. But you can kind of decide which one you want to be out and which one you want to be in when you're doing the balloon. This next row is what's going to kind of bring this in for the balloon shape more. So you kind of want to decide which side is going to be your inside and your outside so that your slip knots will be on the inside. So this will end up being my inside. And now we're going to do I guess it'd be a decrease is what we're going to do so that this comes in like in this one, how it comes in towards the bottom. And how we do that is we're going to stick our hook like before. This is a full stitch right here. You have kind of the front side and you have the back side of the stitch. Maybe I'll show you over here where it's little. Like that's the full stitch. So then you have this is the front, and the other two bands are called the back. Now what we want to do for this next part to decrease the number of bands that we have around, we're going to go in through just the front of the first one and the second one. So then it ends up kind of twisting around your hook like that. I'll show you again. So there's the full stitch. We're just going to stick our hook up through the first part of the first stitch. Then you just kind of turn your hook and get the first part of the second stitch. And you'll see, like I did these kind of color coded here, so you can see that I'm just have 2 stitches. And now what you're going to do is just pull up, in this case 3 bands, because we're starting a new row. So 1, remember they're double banded, 2, and then 3. So it should look like that now. So we're going to go in through the next 2 stitches, and you have to kind of look really close, because sometimes I look at it like when I don't have it this color coded, I always end up wanting to stick it into the first stitch, which is actually the second one I did previously. So really make sure that the 2 stitches that you're going into next are ones that you have not done anything with. So again, through the front of this stitch and the front of the next stitch over. And we still have that other part on our hook. And now we're going to pull up 2 bands, or 2 chains, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. Like that. And then pull up, or pull a band through everything on your hook. Like that. And I know there's a little gap there right now, but that does disappear once we get all the closer to being done all the way around, and then especially once we add the 4th row. So again, same thing, next 2 stitches through the front only, pull up 2 bands, two more, and then 2 through everything. And we're just going to keep doing that all the way around. And there should be 24 stitches, so you should create, I have 3 right now, so there should be 12 in total when we're done. So the next one, through the front only. And though I probably should have said this at the beginning, these are all opaque bands. They're not sticky. They're not. I have not tried it with the jelly yet, although I probably will attempt it at some point. So I'm not sure how easy it will be to do this with those other types of bands. Might be a little rough, but especially the sticky ones. Just keep going around, just front loops only. Bring up 2 bands. And then through everything. Front. So at this point it's just a matter of knowing where to put the stitch, because you should have the stitch down. like so. Front. And if some of you are wondering why we're only going through the front of the stitch instead of the whole thing, it actually helps to eliminate a big gap that would appear by doing this. Couple more to go here for this round. And 2 stitches left. Now you're going to find that top stitch over here again, and you'll go through both loops and do a slip knot through everything. Now, this is one of the rows that I definitely tend to pull a lot tighter. You'll notice that most of my stitches are kind of on the inside instead of sticking straight up. Part of that's just from doing a decrease, and the other part is because I just didn't pull with the same tension when I went around. So I'm definitely going to go in here and pull these up again. Rubber bands are definitely a lot different to deal with than yarn is, that's for sure. So with yarn, if you're doing this and you miss a stitch or count wrong, or you can usually hide it fairly well, but not with rubber bands. So we're getting closer there to the end. So we're going to do one more row just to give it the kind of the funnel shape of the balloon. You can see that there are still a few gaps in there, but those actually kind of, besides they aren't as bad as when we first had the row, the more that these are stretched and played with while we're moving things around, they'll get closer too, because it's just a matter of the bands being sticky together. But they do eventually turn into this right here, and you can't see my decrease row. So, one more row. This time it's just one stitch in every stitch around. There should be 12 stitches right here. And then this will be the finish for the balloon. So I'm just going to stick my hook in through both loops somewhere. Pull up 3 bands, because we're starting a new row. Three bands, go into the next stitch, pull up 2 bands, and then band through everything. And just do that all the way around your balloon. So 2 more bands, then 2 bands through everything. Next stitch. Although I didn't say it, there is nothing special that I use to make this guy, or make this stand up. It's just the construction of it. I don't use any toothpicks or anything in the side pieces or anything with the bottom. It's just a matter of getting the bands in the right position and it'll stand up. Just thought I'd share that with you too real quick, so I don't surprise you at the end with go get paper clips or scissors or something. So we're still just doing one stitch all the way around. Three left to go. I know this is difficult. I'm hoping to see a lot of people giving it a try, for the simple fact that it is like crochet, and I absolutely love to crochet. I did not learn until later in life. Surprisingly, the majority of my family was not very crafty, so I kind of sucked up it from everybody. So this is kind of my thing, to make things, and I like bright colors, so the rainbow loom is perfect. Alright, so last stitch here. I'm going to do the same thing. See here you have 1, 2, and it's that top one you want to put your hook through. And then tie it off. And again, I'm just using a single band, pulled through everything, and then a slip knot. So that is our balloon shape. Pretty good. You can always give it some stretches. You turn this thing inside out. Actually, you could kind of choose and pick your side that you want. This side looks pretty good too. I could move these into the inside. The only difference is that where we decreased, there will be a kind of a little line of stitches that goes around the balloon, which isn't a big deal. But you can use either side. They are pretty uniform, but I'm just going to actually hide this bottom band so it's not poking out the bottom. I'm just going to go in through a few stitches here. Grab it. Maybe. And just pull it up out of the way. And I'm actually just going to kind of connect the rest of these. If I can get my brain working right. And then you can just tie this or do a slip knot, just so that they're all either hidden or secured a little better than just a slip knot. It's up to you. You probably could just leave them, it wouldn't matter too much. Just make a little knot. But that's going to be on the inside of my balloon, so you won't see it. So again, I'll just flip this back the other way. And you don't have to do that, you could have already hidden them, but that's just what I was going to do. And you can kind of puff this around a little bit again. So like that. Alright, so now for the rest of this. Since we're kind of on a roll with doing all of this, we'll actually just do the basket and get it done. I would suggest that if you're able, you could use my granny square basket tutorial, just skip the handle. That's a definite option for the bottom of this. It will fit this perfectly, but I'm just going to kind of stick with using my hook, so it's all uniform, and I didn't want to redo the granny square tutorial in this one because that is available. But if you want to skip making the basket this way, use I have a 1 lumen and 2 lumen version available, so anybody can do this basket that way if they want. But if you're not going to, then you can loom with me. It's not too hard. This is 36 bands in the bottom, and then there's like 24 in the next couple rows up, and then that's it. I know I should say that's it, but that's all there is. So 2 bands, wrap 3 times around your hook again, and then we're going to just make a row, do 12, or do 12 double crochets out of here like we did before. So first we'll take 2 bands, pull it up 3 times out from that center. And since by now you should kind of have the hang of it, we'll just go a little faster here. So back through that end cap. It is kind of tight, but we want it to be that way. It'll get a little easier as you get more pulled through there. So let's make another stitch. This time we're going to pull up 2 bands. So you have 3 coming out of the end cap and then 2 coming out of the end cap, and then pull 2 bands through everything on your hook. So now we have 2 stitches, so we need 10 more. And getting through the whole cap would be nice. But just keep repeating this until we have 12. And you can count them 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. is what I have. What did I do? And if you mess up like me, you can just start over. Sorry. But you can now see why I made the balloons so rainbow colored, because you can see the stitches and count them much easier. In reality, it wouldn't be the end of the world if you had an extra stitch here or there, unless you did something very color coordinated, then you might notice it, but otherwise I don't think it's a huge deal. I think I need one more. 2, 3. One more. Alright, so when you get, and you have 12, I'll show again, you can count around the outside. And 12 is actually on my hook still. Or you can just count the inside parts that are coming out. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now what I want you to do for this, because it is the basket part, we're just going to do it a little bit differently. And this is the second row, which shows up right here on this one. So you're going to go through the first stitch of the circle here. You're going to take 2 bands and pull it through everything on your hook. Like that. So it already kind of starts bending up. If it's not quite bending up, you can adjust it as we go along, so it's not a huge deal if yours isn't, because just by pushing down through the center it will. So now we have these 2 bands on our hook. You're going to actually pull 2 more bands through there, like that. You're going to go in through what will be the first stitch. You'll pull up a band and then pull a band through everything, like that. And then do the same thing in the next one. Go in the stitch, pull up a band, and then 2 bands through everything. I know I keep saying pull up a band, but this is entirely double banded, just a reminder. So next stitch, pull up a band, band through everything. And you're going to do that all the way around the basket. Pull up 1 band, then band through everything. And again. This is effectively a single crochet. I know, like I said before, I did the rainbow one and I did that one a little differently, and I did it on purpose that way because I wanted the actual colors to show a little better. But keep going. In the end, you should, of course, have 12 stitches again. Although at this time it's not totally crucial. If you've got an extra one or maybe even one less, it's not a huge deal. Alright, and then, let me see here. When you get back to here, you'll see that there is a spot here to put a stitch. You can put one there if you want to, or you can skip it. I'm going to put one there. Technically I don't need to, because we already have what amounts to 12 stitches with the little chain we did at the beginning. I guess I did it that way on purpose because I kind of want the basket to pop out just a little bit. And normally when you do a chain in crochet you don't count it, but and I guess I'm not counting it. That's what that amounts to. So it's going to look like we have 13 stitches, but it's not. We only technically have 12 because we don't count the chain. Just going every one around. That's what I'm saying. And once you've got that, you go on the top of the next one, and I'm going to tie this off with 1 band and a slip knot. And you just kind of pull that out a little bit. And then you are going to want to go around and loosen up your bands on this one. because otherwise they might be tipped in like mine. And you want the basket to at least be straight up on the sides, not turned. And I am still going to add one more row to this, but it's basically a slip stitch row, which will kind of give the little effect of having like a, usually the baskets that I've seen for the hot air balloons, they always have like a little edge to them that's usually a cloth of some sort. I'm going to tuck in this, so I'm just going to turn this around. Stick it through a couple on the inside. Turn this back. Alright. So I'll do the next row, and I will do it in a different color. So I'm just going to stick my hook up through, grab 2 bands, pull them up through, put it on my hook, stick my hook into the next stitch. Now take those bands and pull them through everything, and then put that back on your hook. I'll do the same thing in the next one here. So under your stitch, take your 2 bands, pull them through the stitch, and then pull them what's already on your hook, and put the bands back. And do that all the way around. Pull it through the stitch, through all the bands on your hook, and put it back on. Alright, so now I'm technically all the way back around. So I'll stick my hook back in through these bands right here. Take a band, pull it through everything, make a slip knot. So there's our basket. You just pull it out. You're going to want the bottom to be kind of flat, so basically almost the entire double stitching that we did on the bottom, that is going to be the bottom of your basket. I know right now it's still a little more round looking than square, but once we add the these last little parts here, which that means we're almost done, it kind of squares it out. So I'm just going to hide my little tail here. Like so. So now we need to attach these two together. It's not too hard to do. What we're going to do is I'm going to stick my hook up through the balloon in a spot underneath both bands, and we're going to double band or double cap, or however you want to say that, 6 bands, and then pull through 2 bands that we don't twist around. So what I mean by that is have my hook through the balloon, take a band, put it on your hook, twist it around once so you have a figure 8, and then pull it through the balloon, and put both ends back on your hook. And then you're going to pull through 5 more double or crossed bands. So double it. Pull it through. And that did not... There's 3. You want to try to center it each time as you go around. I know I have a bad habit of pulling tighter on one side than the other, so you'll probably have to adjust it a little bit like I will when we're done. 4. 5. 6. And then take 2 bands that are regular and pull them through the end. And as long as you center them, they shouldn't fall off. So you can just take your hook out, and then we need to do this 3 more times. You can of course make these a little longer if you like, but you run the risk of them not being supportive enough for the balloon, and that might end up falling over. So now, say if this is my 1 with my, where I came up from this stitch, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So in my green is where I'm going to bring up my next one. So double cap that band and pull it through. And you need to pull up 6 of them in total, and then the 1 band, or 2 bands, rather. Like so, and do it again. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, which makes sense if it comes around to the red, so do the same thing. One more of these to go, and then we'll attach the basket and we will be done. Thankfully, right? I'm just so excited to actually see if anybody makes these. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. So again, It's opposite side, so my green will be where I put this in. So one more. Alright, done. So now the blue one has our tassels on it. Alright, so now we just need to attach the two together. Also with your basket here, before we go further, you're going to want to make sure that you stretch these out as well, so that they're not all kind of doubled over or too tight, because that'll help spread the basket out too. So make sure you do that. And if you noticed, I had a little glitch there. Apparently this tutorial maxed out my storage on my phone, so I had to resolve that issue before I could continue. But now that you have your basket and all this with the tassels here hanging, what we're going to do is you're just going to pick a spot in your basket here, go under a stitch, and then we're going to connect this. So just kind of think we're going to put it on here like this. So you stick your hook up through there. You're going to grab the two bands here on one side, and you're going to pull that through your basket like so. Then stick the other end on your hook and do a slip knot. Now I usually just hang on to right up here and the slip knot and then pull it tight. Kind of keep it straight with the basket. You want it to be tight if your bands aren't quite slippery. You want to pull them up yourself if you need to. But just like that, just doing a slip knot, and these will hang off the side to kind of simulate like where they put the weights on the balloons. So once you have that one on, then you're going to go, this is stitch 1 where we put it, and we have stitch 2, 3, and the 4th one, when you go under there, that's where you'll put your next one. So take the next one over, grab the bands, pull them through, hook the other side, and then do a slip knot. Like so. And the same thing, stitch 1, 2, 3, 4. And try to keep them straight, although sometimes they kind of want to be a little crooked, but pull the end through, grab the other side, then do a slip knot. And then last one, 1, 2, 3, 4. Grab a band, pull it through, other end, and slip knot. Like so. Now, to get this to stand up, you're going to want to flatten bottom so that it looks kind of like the whole double stitch is down. The double stitch that we did in the first part of the circle. And then what you will also have to do is adjust these so that they're as straight as possible. You can see how this one kind of curves in. That's just from how you make them on your hook. You end up pulling tighter on one side than the other. So just go in there and try and adjust those. I've gotten them all to stand up, so it's really just a matter of moving those bands around. I mean, they are rubber bands, so sometimes they have a mind of their own. But just keep on adjusting these. So you can see this one is much straighter, but then we have this one's crooked. There's a really great way to do these. Like, you can make them on a loom and then you could tie them in, but it wouldn't be the same connection on the balloon part. And they'd still be crooked because you can't twist them perfectly. So I'll quickly run through these and try and get them all straight. Hopefully I can get it to stand up, because that would kind of stink if the first one that I can't get to stand up is the one that I'm doing this tutorial on. Obviously, if you can't get it to stand up doing it this way, I would definitely just try taking some toothpicks or something, and voila, I got to stand up. Toothpicks or something, and you can try and wedge them in, or just like a paper clip, just thread it up through there as best you can. And I mean, if you can hide it well enough through the backside, nobody would even see it. So it also might help. I did put figures with my little turtle guys in the bottom of pretty much all of my, or I did put turtles in the bottom of my other ones, so it might help to kind of weigh it down on the bottom if you add a little figure or something in the bottom, or a weight of some sort. So that might help too. So really it's just about adjusting these as straight as you can, kind of popping them out. You can try your slip knots a little tighter, but it does stand up. It just takes a little bit of work. Now, unfortunately you guys can't see them. You can kind of see that I made some of the balloons a little different, but alright. So that's my tutorial for my hot air balloon made on the hook. I'm going to have to fix a couple of my little spots there, but eventually it'll look like that. But I hope you guys liked it and that you were willing to give it a try till the end here. I think they're adorable and they're cute. They stand up. I mean, you can't really beat adorableness. I'm just kind of doing things that are interesting me now, and sometimes it's bracelets, sometimes it's little puffy things, and right now it's hot air balloons. So I thank you for watching. I can't wait to see some pictures of these for those of you who've been willing to try it. I'm kind of excited about that. So the links for those are for my Instagram and my Facebook are underneath the descriptive video. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see what other weirdness I'm coming out with in the future. And I will have more tutorials for you soon, and thank you very much for watching.